Melanie, what's up? What's up, Melanie? Man, I changed the chat box. I changed the chat box to be a little bit better so it's not as large, but that looks like it has not changed. Let's see. I'm gonna pop out the chat into its own screen. That way I can get rid of some things. And we are going to talk about home explosions. We're going to talk about home explosions. So there was an explosion that happened yesterday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. There was an explosion that happened yesterday. Man, it's starting to get brighter out here. I don't know if I can see my screen. We should be live on X and YouTube right now. We should be. Christine, what's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You know, the cool thing about doing it this way is I can actually control the chat. I can control the chat. All right. What the heck is everybody up to? Melanie, Christine, Killer Carla. We'll see who else joins in here. We got a lot to talk about because the guy that caused the home explosions yesterday, he's been in some trouble. He has been in some trouble. And we're going to talk about him here pretty quickly. If you guys want to talk about him. Stephen Aldrich is who we're going to be talking about today. Stephen Aldrich. Melanie's enjoying a thunderstorm. What part of the world are you? Are you here in Austin? Let me check my radar. I didn't know we were supposed to have. Can you guys hear me okay? Can y'all hear me all right? No, the explosion that I'm talking about happened, the one that I'm talking about right now happened yesterday here in Austin. There was another home explosion yesterday. GA, what's up? Yeah, there was another home explosion yesterday. Northern Utah, heck yeah. There was another one here in Austin yesterday that the cops did. The cops blew a house up here yesterday. Another one, yeah, another one. Second one. This one, so the first one was caused by propane. The second one was caused by the cops. More specifically, the ATF. The ATF did it. So the local news right now is not reporting about the one from yesterday, but I am reporting about the guy that actually did it. And we're going to talk about this cat this morning. If y'all give me a sec, let me pull up my records again. Let's see, criminal cases. Aldrich. Stephen. So Stephen Aldrich was the guy that he was building bombs in his house yesterday. Well, it actually started the evening before. So day before yesterday in the evening, somehow the cops got called out to his house and they found that he was making bombs in his house. This isn't his first time. In fact, in 2018, he blew his hand off here in Leander, where I'm living right now. In the town that I'm living right now, he blew his hand off making bombs and was put in prison for that. And that wasn't even his first time. He was originally charged with making bombs back in August of 2015. And he's been racking up charges ever since. Apparently the guy doesn't learn his lesson. He served 6 years in prison. That didn't teach him. He blew his hand off. That didn't teach him. So here, we're going to do it all over again. What are you guys up to this morning? Man, it feels weird y'all getting to look at me while we're doing this. But we got to talk about this because this goes back to the court system and how the court system is a joke. You know, you take a guy that is dangerous. He's making bombs, and they give him a slap on the hand. I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. You guys got to see my ugly mug for a little while today. But anyway, I haven't been on the streets this morning. I have been here doing a lot of research, doing a lot of internet work. Missed the first part, the guy that blew up 2 houses. No. So, the guy blew, so the guy I'm talking about right now so yesterday afternoon, about 5 o'clock, Austin police blew a house up in South Austin. Well, they didn't blow the whole house up. They basically blew a wall out of the house. There was a guy that was making bombs in his house. They thought that it would be safer to blow the devices in place rather than have the bomb squad take them out. The explosion over the weekend was caused by propane. We're going to talk about that a little bit more too. Toe for Life, what's up, man? What's up? What's up? So yeah, we're talking about 2 completely separate incidents. It's kind of wild that they happened this close together, but the one from yesterday where the police, and more specifically the ATF is the one that blew that one yesterday. This guy didn't learn his lesson. He was a known criminal. He has a very, very long history of making bombs. Yeah, the 2 are not connected at all. Nope. The one that happened on Sunday was a complete accident. It was a terrible accident. We're going to talk about that because I think I finally have a handle on what happened in that place. I went back out there. I was out there yesterday afternoon talking to some neighbors, and I think I finally have a handle of exactly what was happening at the house that blew up. And sadly, it was just an accident. It's a tragic accident, and I'll walk you through how that happened. But first, I want to talk about Stephen Aldrich. I wish I had it set up where I could share my screen with you. Because I want to show you these records. Stephen Aldrich, old man, with having components of an explosive device, and he was charged with 2 counts of having a prohibited weapon. So he was making bombs back in 2015 here in Leander. And long story short, out of that case, the charge that he had, which was a felony, possessing the components of an explosive, was dismissed. And he was put on deferred adjudication for having a prohibited weapon. For those that don't know what deferred adjudication is, it's kind of what it says. It's basically probation. If you finish probation successfully, then the charge goes away like it never happened. You're not adjudicated guilty. The charge will go off your record, and you don't have to worry about it. So it's basically a slap on the wrist. It's like, look, you got caught doing something really bad, but you're not a criminal, so we're going to give you a chance to make it go away. As long as you're good for the next 8 years, it'll go away. So they put him on deferred adjudication. Let me pull my notes back up. He was sentenced to 8 years of probation in March 15th of 2016. 8 years. Literally within that same year, on August 10th, there was a motion to revoke and to adjudicate him guilty. I don't know the details of that. I don't have the records. But whatever it was, the judge did not think it was bad enough to put him in jail. She continued him on his probation. And then in 2019, actually it happened in December of 2018. December of 2018, he blew his hand off in his house. He was making bombs again. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison. 6 years in prison, 8 years of probation. So what happened yesterday, he is on probation right now for the same offense that happened yesterday. He was playing a stupid game. You don't mess with explosives. I mean, you know, we're going on, 10 years now since his first charge. He's been playing stupid games for a long time. And, you know, playing with bombs, you know, I don't know. So I broke Brock, however you say it, over on kind of summarizes cases for me, because I'm not very smart. I will tell you guys that right now. So sometimes I need a little bit of help going through like the legal jargon. And Grok found some interesting information. It says from the 2018 event where he blew his hand off, he says authorities noted that Aldridge did not appear to intend to harm anybody in the public, describing the incident as isolated, meaning basically he's just a stupid guy that was playing with bombs. He didn't want to hurt anybody. He was just doing it for himself and fucked up and blew his arm off. So, but now I would imagine, now look, these are state level crimes that I'm talking about. I don't have access to the federal. I actually signed up this morning for a Pacer account. That way I could look up federal court cases. I want to see if he's got a federal record. So that's what happened yesterday. The guy was stupid and blew himself up again, or almost blew himself up again. You know, if you blow your hand off, if you're doing something dumb enough that you accidentally blow your hand off, do you think that might teach you a lesson? He was a practice of harming, or he would not. Exactly, GA. I mean, that's speculation. You're right. It's speculation. The cops are speculating. Who knows what his intent was? But obviously, blowing his hand off didn't teach him a lesson. You know, there's some things that you just don't mess with in your house. Obviously, he's not a good bomb maker. I mean, he's gotten caught several times. But this whole thing with these prosecutors in the courts in this country going very lenient on people for some pretty serious stuff, you know, like making bombs is a pretty serious thing, you know, and these courts just handing out probation, and it's not good. Yeah, the one-handed bomb maker. That's exactly what he was. He was a one-handed bomb maker. They're too easy. They are. If you know what you're doing. Look, I used to make what's called, my son and I, we used to make our own little model rocket engines. It's not hard to do to make a bomb. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to do it. I don't want to get banned off of YouTube. But you can make what's called rocket candy, and you can make it yourself just out of 2 different materials. You can go to Lowe's and buy one of the ingredients, and you can go to the grocery store and buy the other ones. Exactly, the sugar rockets. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And you tell me that you couldn't make a bomb out of sugar rockets? If you could, if you could find some kind of a pressure vessel, and put the sugar candy or the rocket candy inside of that, you could make a bomb with that. Yep, those are fun too, GA. But, I mean, you just need some potassium nitrate and sugar. That's all you need. Basically, you could do it with potassium nitrate and about anything, but sugar works best. You could do it with peanut butter. You could do it with basically anything that'll burn. And it's dangerous. You could hurt yourself doing it when you're making it. You could really hurt yourself. So anyway, we're not going to talk about making bombs. But I thought yesterday when the police very first started talking about this, and they said that they didn't say exactly what they found in his house, that he had materials that could be explosive, is kind of how they said it. Material that could be explosive. And my wife and I were sitting out here thinking, like, wouldn't it be funny if he actually had a meth lab and they thought that it was too dangerous, so the cops blew the meth lab up? Like, you always hear about meth labs blowing up, and then what if the cops really did blow up a meth lab? Boom, there you go, hands are gone. You could definitely blow your hands off with that stuff. And I mean, look at tannerite. Tannerite is completely legal to have. You could kill yourself real quick with tannerite. I mean, obviously, you need a way to set it off, but, I mean, tannerite's very dangerous stuff. A lot of people have gotten hurt with tannerite. Yeah, Christy. I mean, how many videos are on YouTube of people almost getting killed because they're playing with tannerite when they shouldn't be? Yep, ether. But I just thought it would be funny if literally it was a meth lab that was too dangerous for them to dismantle, so they just blew it up. I thought that would be incredibly funny. For the cops to be the one blowing up the meth lab. You know, because you always hear about meth labs exploding, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, it's the cops blowing up the meth lab this time. So, anyway, as far as the explosion that happened on Sunday, I think everybody, all of the victims are going to live, thank God. Y'all might hear my trash man here shortly. I think all the victims are going to live, it sounds like, thank God. And it was just a tragic accident. So here's what we think happened. And I've got sources in the fire department. I'm not just pulling this straight out of my ass. But they think that the house was brand new. It had just been built within the last 2 months. The house was built. It had just gotten its occupancy certificate. Now, this is the house in Northwest Austin that blew up on Sunday. They think that there was a propane leak. See, in that area where this house is at, over on Double Spur in Northwest Austin, it's on kind of a mountain, and it's limestone, right? It's limestone. So there's no underground gas lines. You can't get natural gas to that part of the city. It's just impossible. So every house had propane tanks in the backyard, and this house had a big propane tank. It was a 500-gallon, I think it was a 500-gallon propane tank. So, you know, one of the big ones. And they had it plumbed into the house for the stove and for the heater. And somehow, within the last few days, gas started leaking into the house. And nobody had been at that house in several days, right? Nobody had been over there. Gas had just been leaking into the house. The homeowner, the man, goes to the house. He opens the front door and walks in. And we're assuming that he smelt the gas and was then starting to look for the source of it. That's exactly what I would do. If I opened my front door and I smelt gas, I would try to find the source and shut it off, right? Wouldn't you? I think anybody would do that. If you smelt gas, you would try to find the source and shut it off. But at that point, there was enough propane and enough oxygen, especially after he opened the front door and let oxygen in the house. There was enough air and enough propane. It mixed, and then there was static off of his clothes. Set it off. Kaboom! Yep. Built-in pools, rears, limestone ships, brakes, gas line. Yeah, get some. Yeah, they won't put. The gas folks said that they would not put the gas lines out there. Yeah, in most places it is. Get some. Yeah. So it was just a tragic accident. Thank God nobody was killed. Thank God that, you know, I mean, I can't. if you look at the video, so the video that I posted over on X of the explosion happening, if you go frame by frame by frame by frame, the very first sign of the explosion, the very first flicker of yellow is coming right out the front door of that house. And it looks like when you zoom in, the front door is open, right? So, and that is a good sign that when he opened the front door, it let in enough air, and that's where it exploded. The explosion started coming out the front door first. So it's just a very, very tragic accident, and a lot of people lost a lot of property, but they didn't lose their lives, and I think that's what's important. Apparently this happens more often than people realize. I was chatting with an attorney yesterday that he had a case just like this in Houston not long ago, where, again, a gas leak in a house blew up. Apparently this happens quite often, where houses blow up because of gas leaks. It's not as uncommon as you would think. Man, I'll tell you what, this is so good. This is the HEB sweet tea. I love it. So, that's what's been going on in Austin. What have you guys been up to? Anybody doing anything interesting? Happened in my neighborhood 15 years ago. Christine, see, that's what I'm saying. I didn't realize it was such a common issue. I didn't realize that. That it happened more than what you think it happens. Crazy. Oh, the hot teacher getting arrested. Hang on, let me see if we can find the story. What town was it in? Was it here in Austin? Fort Bend. Hang on. Let's see. All right, here we go. We got a story. Let's see. Oh, yeah, she is. She is pretty good looking, isn't she? Let's see. A Fort Bend ISD teacher is facing 2 felony charges after being accused of having a sexual relationship with a student at a middle school. Holy shit. Kara Hernandez was arrested on February 14th. She faces charges of indecency with a child involving sexual contact and an improper relationship between an educator and a student. Isn't it crazy that there has to even be a law that you can be charged with that is improper relationship between an educator and a student? Tell me that it's not sad that we even have to have that law. According to court documents, the offenses allegedly happened on or around April 1st, 2022, while Hernandez was employed, blah, blah, blah. Grand jury indictment accuses her of intentionally engaging in sex with a student enrolled in the middle school. Man, I wish I could show y'all my screen. I'd show y'all a picture of her. And apparently this happens a lot more often than what you would think. Here, let's see. How many teachers have been arrested? Let's see. In 2024, there have been 269 arrests for teachers having sex with students in the United States. 2024. There's 269 teachers doing this. What in the hell is happening? 2023. There was 350 teachers arrested. 2022, 270. Kids can make accusations. That's all it takes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep. Dirtweed, what's up? There was a big fire on Niagara River up here in the 1830s. Historical home. Rumor has it that it was currently owned by Tom Selleck. That's interesting. Interesting. Three that disciplined or fired in Texas, many for the same reason. It's so crazy. Exactly. There's got to be proof. You're right. Kids can say anything. That's one of those charges. That's one of those. That's one of those things that really need to be proven because kids say some stupid stuff, man. Tom Selleck. That's interesting. Yeah, kids say some pretty ridiculous stuff on occasion. Exactly. I'd like to see the proof too. That's one of those that you're not, that you won't just, it's not a guilty until proven innocent. Let's see. There's a new story out on Fox News right now. Trump floats theory on who ran the Biden White House. My question is, where are the teachers when I was in school? Man, all of my teachers were fugly. I take it back. I had one teacher that was pretty good looking. One teacher. I look at these teachers nowadays and it's like, man, I would have been in trouble. And here, my mom's listening right now too. Looking for interesting stories we can talk about. So what we're going to do is head over to CNN. Some good looking ones nowadays. Let's see. Fed chair. European Trump projects optimism on trade leaders. Man, CNN's looking pretty tame this morning. What in the heck? Who's the most woke news provider? Is it NPR? NPR is pretty woke, right? Let's see what NPR is running this morning. Trump needs to be careful. Yes, he does. MSNBC? Yeah, I can't stand MSNBC. Trump. Okay, the lead story on NPR is Trump calls for Fed Chair Jerome Powell's termination in a blistering attack. That's an interesting story. The gist of that story is they think that they are going to crash the economy on purpose just to make Trump look bad, and it wouldn't surprise me. The Democrats right now would literally trash the economy in this country if it made Trump look bad. Library Fox, what's up, man? Welcome to my beautiful face. They would definitely ruin the economy if it made Trump look bad. Alright, let's check on MSNBC. I hate looking at these websites. Let's see, MSNBC. Harmeet Dillon is already breaking the DOJ's Civil Rights Division. Trump is using his election denial playbook. Trump's obsession with showerheads suggests he's living in the past. Check, this is an actual story. Hold on. This is a headline on MSNBC, okay? Trump's fixation on showerhead proves he's living in the past. President Trump has a lot of problems President Trump has a lot of problems in the bathroom and he isn't shy about sharing them. You want to wash your hands. Oh, man, these damn pop-ups. You want to wash your hands, you turn on the water, it goes drip, drip. The soap, blah, blah, blah. They're actually running this story. She does have brains. Harmeet Dillon's pretty awesome. So in between attacking America's university and sending people to be tortured in El Salvador. Trump has addressed this urgent bathroom crisis with bold action. What the hell is wrong with the freaking media, man? MSNBC is a joke. I mean, you can't even, there's no way. If you look, so you guys know who Scott Adams is. I'm sure you guys know who Scott Adams is. Scott Adams made me realize something a while back, that if you open up MSNBC and you start looking at it from the frame of mind that it is kind of like the bee, then you can then it makes sense. If you look at MSNBC like it's satire, then you can actually enjoy the web. But that DC is married to a Democratic senator. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm just looking at MSNBC, and it's just a bunch of it's rage bait. Every bit of it is rage baits. Americans are coming together to fight for freedom against a president who hates you. Let's see. Comedy Central, it makes more sense. I'm telling you, man. Oh, man, Trump is one of the best trolls there are. I'm telling you right now, he is. Boasberg, how do you say that? Boasberg, I think it is. He finds probable cause to hold Trump in contempt. Get all my news from Trump took some needle nose pliers and removed the low flow restrictor from the pipe. Yeah, then he signed an executive order saying you could do it too. Y'all hang on one second. Then he signed an executive order saying you can do it too. That's what's funny. Hang on one second, y'all. Sorry. I had to use the bathroom. Ooh, my computer's falling. Alright, what are we talking about? Bill, what's up? Episode of Soundcase. CEO Emerson is married to Democrat senator. I get all my news from Comedy Central. Makes more sense. So Trump took some... Let's see. He sanctions policy. Indeed, best way. Yeah, the whole tariff issue. People are losing their mind over the whole tariff issue. That's for sure. But this story about that judge holding the Trump administration in criminal contempt. I mean, come on. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg said probable cause exists to find the Trump admin in contempt for violating his order over deportation flights last month. explaining that he didn't reach that conclusion lightly, but that officials failed to provide satisfactory answers. The judge said he would give the government the chance to remedy its contempt, but if it doesn't, he'll proceed to identify the people in contempt and refer the matter for prosecution. Boo-hoo. Contempt is unique in that judges can appoint lawyers, blah, 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 blah. They're going to try, they'll do this. They'll try to, right now that they're going to try to put somebody in the Trump administration in jail for this. Couldn't we think of tariffs as a consumption tax? Here, this is what I did to figure out about the tariffs. This is what I did. Hang on. You ask Groke over on X to explain the tariffs to you like you're 5. And it says, let's see, like it feels called President Trump wants to make tariffs bigger, meaning you pay more money for those cheering for you. Okay. Imagine you have a toy store and you get toys from another country, like Toyland. When those toys come to your store, you have to pay a special fee to the government for bringing them in. That fee is called a tariff. President Trump wants to make tariffs bigger, meaning you pay more money for those toys out of Toyland. Why? It will help toy makers in our country because people might buy more toys that's made in America instead of expensive toys from China. It's like cheering for your home team. There you go. Not only that, but it's going to bring more toy makers to America. Do y'all remember back when COVID started and like there was this big deal about we couldn't get amoxicillin, we couldn't get basic medications because it came from China. Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember the stories from back then about everything that we need, that is a necessity in our life that is made by China? That's why he's doing this. We got to bring manufacturing back here. We have to be buying American products. 5 years in our shipping, what do you want to know? I pretty much, I understand exactly what he's trying to do. I mean, I'm just saying, like, for some people, they can just go to Groke and ask, like, explain it to me like I'm 5. But there's so much stuff made in China that needs to be made here. We have to be self-sufficient. If China cut us off tomorrow, we would be in a lot of trouble. Exactly. Well, yeah, like stuff like Temu and Wish, that crap's crazy. But I'm talking more like a lot of our electronics and a lot of our medications are made in China. Remember the chimes holding medical supplies? Yes, exactly. And then send them at a higher price. Yep, it brought it all out back then. We knew it was a problem back then. America has to be self-sufficient here. TK, what's up, brother? Especially the pharmaceuticals. Because most of our pharmaceuticals come from China. Especially the ones that keep people alive. Like amoxicillin, It comes from overseas. Think about when's the last time you had to call customer service and you got somebody that was an American. I can tell you it's been a long time for me. Look at all the spam calls that you get on your phone every day. I probably get maybe a minimum of maybe 5 to 10 spam calls a day on my phone. And they're all foreigners. It's stupid. It's stupid, stupid, stupid. Let's see, NGO Sunrise. I got DMs. Let's see. I was more self-sufficient right before all the electronics. Yeah, I think most people were. RV, I think so. Under his first term, tariffs didn't Ford close a bunch of plants, and yes, they did. Moved them right back here. And guess what happened after he left office? They moved them right back. They reopened them. So, I mean, these tariffs will help America. And there's that night. Right now there's a 90-day pause on them, but we'll see what happens. Texas cutie's got me where she wants me, and I play that Texas cutie till I'm through. Do 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 do. Texas cutie. Hang on, let's see. Hang on, I think I can play that for you. Hang on. Oh boy, Texas cutie's in trouble now. Oh, 2 out of tune. 2 out of tune. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Good morning. Yeah, RV. I think, I was talking about this yesterday with my son about like I rely on Google Maps so much that it's making me kind of sick. Tell me how China's, let's see, tell me how China can ship to the USA for pennies, but if I want to send it back, it costs me more. Exactly, GA. Exactly. Germany is the biggest. Yes. Yeah, Library Fox on here is in Germany right now. He is in Germany. He is in Germany. I don't think I have... Do I have a mod in here yet? TK, are you still in here? TK Crow. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Library Fox is here. Good, 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 good. Good, good. TK, there's TK. Hang on. TK's working. There you go. Let's see. Boom. All right. Library Fox is here. Not fully. Dang, TK, you got to be fully engaged, man. What's up with that? Texas cutie. Yeah, 15 countries that exported the highest dollar value worth of drugs and medicines. 23 to China is not even worth it. Our cars are yeah. The cars are junk. Isn't it crazy? I mean, think about the muscle cars. Think about how many awesome muscle cars there are between like the Camaros and some of the old Plymouths and the old Dodge. I mean, think about all of the old muscle cars. Do we have any modern day muscle cars that's not made in the 70s? But moving manufacture takes time, doesn't it? What happens when these toys are essential and the business can't afford to make them right now? It's a good question, Lobsters. It really is. It's a very good question, man. And sadly, I really don't have the answer to it. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to all work out. It's a good point. It really is a good point. I don't know. I really don't have an answer for you on that one, but that is definitely a good point. Z06 ZR1 gets... Okay, well, maybe there are a few nice ones. A few muscle cars. But, yeah, are they built to last, though? I think if Sadie sometimes was in here, she would talk about the muscle cars. Yeah, you got to be fully engaged. You got to be fully engaged. Oh man, yeah. When I replace the Dash Mobile, I want to replace it with a car I can work on myself. That's not ran by like 5 computers and has 13,000 sensors on it, and you know what I mean. Fully engaged. That's it. Quit your job. You're done. Maybe one day I can hire somebody and TK, you will be it. I'm hoping that, see, Dash right now, we're kind of in that spot where we're big enough that we have an audience, but we're not big enough that we have sponsors just yet. Like, we're in that like zone where we've built a decent audience, but we're just not big enough for a sponsor, and we're moving past that very fast. I mean, we're moving past it fast, especially over on X, and we'll be getting, we'll have some pretty decent sponsors here pretty soon. Yeah, there, right down the street from my house here, there is a. Yeah, I agree that they're more efficient. I'm just talking about, like, I want to be able to work on it myself. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to do things. I want to be able to do the tune-ups myself. I want to be able, and in these cars today, it's like you got to have midget hands just to get into it. There's sensors everywhere that go out, and, like the car right here, the dash mobile, the coil went out, and it has 6 coils on it. So it's like, I don't know, it's just, you got to take the intake off just to get to the spark plugs, and it's all so stupid. You do, on the dash mobile, you got to take the throttle body, the intake, and the air intake off just to get to the spark plugs. Ooh, don't talk about my fucking Ford Ranger. My Ford Ranger. My brother used to have a Ford Ranger. Actually, my dad had a Ford Ranger too. Hey, there's a Ford Ranger driving by right now. How you like that? You guys hear the birds? I sit out here when I'm working. Instead of sitting inside, I sit out here and work on the front porch. I drive a Ranger. Heck yeah, man. These Ford Rangers can't be beat. But I love sitting out here on the front porch working. Death Ranger! 10 or 10 miles on a 2019 Tesla with no maintenance required. Best vehicle ever made. I would love to try out a Tesla. I really would. The rooster. Yeah, you hear the rooster? He's in the backyard. He's in the backyard right now. Anyway, guys, I'm going to roll. I just wanted to jump on this morning and talk about the explosions, give y'all the latest. 2,000 injured, 117,000 miles for sale. What do you want for it? 2,000? 170,000? AC work? I may need to send you my number. I wouldn't mind talking to you about that. Those who don't think the mechanic is recognized for a spark plug job. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Bill. For sure. Tow for Life, send me an email. Here, send me an email. Hang on. Send me an email. Maybe I'd like to talk to you about that Ranger. Texas Cutie. Library Fox. Yeah, we're just talking about the explosions that happened here in Austin. There was another house explosion yesterday. House explosion that the cops did this time. The cops blew a house up yesterday. There was a man that has a bit of a history of building bombs in this area. Back in 2018, he blew his hand and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He just got out not long ago. He's on probation, and he was making bombs again in his house. The cops found out about it. They went to ATF, decided that it would be safer just to blow them in place. So they evacuated the neighborhood and blew the house up. That's the gist of it. I mean, there's a little more to it than that, but that's basically what happened. You got the one-handed bomber. Never trust a one-handed bomber. That's like trusting a dentist with no teeth. You don't trust a dentist with no teeth. Yeah, TK, his name was Stephen Aldrich. Once again, it's our courts here giving people a slap on the wrist. He was charged with it originally back in 2015. He was charged with it originally. He was put on deferred adjudication, which means that it's basically a form of probation. They gave him deferred adjudication for 8 years. Basically, if he minded himself and he did not get in any more trouble for 8 years, that charge would go away. It would be like it never happened, right? And then not long after he was put on deferred adjudication, he screwed up the first time. They put in a motion to revoke. Apparently the judge didn't think whatever he did was good enough to revoke. And then in 2018, December of 2018, here in Leander, right where I'm sitting right now, he blew his hand off while he was sitting in his living room. He was charged with a crime and sentenced to 6 years in prison. So he hadn't been out. They didn't say, Bill. I don't know. I just requested the case files from Leander Police and Williamson County Sheriff. So we'll see what they say, and see if we can get some details on that. But the one from yesterday, I'm thinking, if I remember right, they didn't really say. Yeah, they don't really say. They don't say what it was. They just say explosive materials. And he's been charged with basically having explosive materials. So I don't know. You know, the cops say that he doesn't mean any harm to anybody, but you know, but that's a supposition, you know. I had Taco Bell yesterday. Bomb went off in my house too. Blew that toilet right off the stand. Alright guys, I'm rolling. I've got some work I got to get done today. I got some videos coming out. I'm editing right now, and I'm hoping maybe that I will be able to get the files from the city of Austin, and we will know what Jimmy Flanagan has been up to. I hope you guys are ready for a little Jimmy Flanagan. You know, ever since I started reporting on Flanagan and started hammering that man, he has stopped posting on social media. He has stopped all of his posting on social media. I don't know if he's running scared or what, but that's it. Guys, love y'all so much. Support the channel. Down in the description are ways to do that. If you're over on X, there's a pinned tweet at the top. Support the channel if you can. We need all the help we can get right now, especially until we get to where we have sponsorships. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.